Good morning. And I mean good morning. It's not even morning yet, but I woke up at about 3 o'clock. Couldn't get back to sleep because I was thinking about different routes to get over to Arkansas to get this thing delivered without having to be on I-40 the whole way, or not having to use the toll roads. And I laid there for about 10 minutes thinking about it, and I thought, if this is what I'm going to do till 6 o'clock, I might as well get the hell up and go and just do it in real life. So here I am, up and moving at 3:30 in the morning, which I do this occasionally. I'll get up and go real early. It's about 5 hours over to where I'm dropping this trailer if I follow I-40 and the toll roads and all that. It's about 6 or 7 hours if I don't follow the toll roads. The place opens at 8, so, you know. I've got a bottle here somewhere of water. There it is. Trying to feel around, find stuff in the dark is so much fun. Put that back there. Tuck that in there. And my bottle of water here. So this is my route to get over to the highway. I can't cross with a trailer at the closest railroad crossing to my house to get onto 81 because it's too steep. And I don't want to get a $10,000 fine for getting a trailer hung up on the railroad tracks, for one thing. For the other thing, I don't want to get hung up on the railroad tracks. So I can come a mile farther north, and then I've got a crossing I can get across without any trouble. I wouldn't cross this if I was pulling a lowboy trailer or something, but with this trailer it's fine. With a regular trailer it's okay. So I think I'm going to pretty much go back the same way I came in last night. I'm going to run up to Chickasha and cut over through Blanchard and then over through Shawnee, because I want to stop in Shawnee up on Highway 177 just south of Interstate 40 and buy fuel. They've got a good deal on fuel there. And then that should sustain me for fuel, at least for most of the trip. I'm kind of hoping I don't get anything else this afternoon. I'm hoping I'll just get to come on home, but we will see. It's always kind of a crapshoot. You know, it's a two-edged sword. Yeah, more work is good, but coming home is actually good. And obviously we need the income or I wouldn't be out here doing this. But this isn't something that I want to make the main focus of my life anymore. And I went through that a couple times before, and especially last year. I ran pretty much nonstop from, I think, middle of February until Thanksgiving. And I haven't had that kind of level of work this year, so I'm kind of glad for that, because, man, it wore me out. But one of the big differences last year was that I was taking any job that they would give me, the heavy jobs, big stacks, all of that. and this year I'm not. So, and do I miss them? No, not even. I'm glad not to have to do that stuff this year. That was a lot of work. It was a lot of being out in the 100-degree heat at 6 in the morning in Texas, doing a lot of physical work, tying those beds down, or the trailers down. So yeah, I'm just not something I really wanted to do. I don't mind pulling trailers, but I didn't really want to pull stacks of trailers and have to strap everything. That's one of the reasons I don't have my own trailer and I'm not hauling truck beds, because I don't want to have to be strapping all that crap down. It's just miserable work. I mean, 10 years ago, it wasn't so bad. I could do it without really feeling too much of the ill effects. But, man, this guy's got his brights on. I can't even look that way till he goes by. But this year, I mean, I'm 10 years older. Last year I was 10 years older than I was when I last did that kind of work. And it's just not something I want to do. No spring chicken, and I don't need to be trying to do a man's job, you know what I mean? Not that I can't do it, but I don't want to do it. It's just too much. Too much. I don't know. I may just run up here and hop on I-35 and catch I-40. I might as well take the direct route, as long as I don't have to get on the pay road. And I don't have to get on the pay road. I mean, there's no traffic right now. It's early enough. There shouldn't be, even in Oklahoma City, there shouldn't be much, if any, traffic. And I can save myself quite a bit of time. So the sun is coming up. I've made it quite a ways since I left the driveway this morning. I'm crossing into eastern Oklahoma, or have crossed into eastern Oklahoma. And I've got about a little over 3 hours to go to get this thing delivered. So I'm pretty happy with my progress. I should be there about 9-ish, somewhere around 9:30, 10. I don't have to stop and fuel up again, because I just stopped in Shawnee, where I was able to fuel up for $3.28 a gallon, which was pretty awesome. So I put on 38 gallons, filled everything up. Well, everything, the tank, filled it up. And last night, before I went home, I stopped off at the Dunkin' Y and filled up my diesel exhaust fluid, topped that off. So I'm in good shape. I shouldn't have to stop and buy fuel again at all. I should be able to get over here and turn around and get home on just the fuel that I've got on board, which is really good. True Grit Trail, exit 81. I wonder. Huh. I'm gonna have to look that up. See what the story is behind that. Lake Dardanelle. Well, that sounds familiar, doesn't it? If you're a True Grit person, if you remember the story True Grit. Wasn't her lawyer Darnell, or something like that? Might have been. Yeah, I'm gonna have to look that up. That's interesting. So could it be that the guy who wrote True Grit, or the person, I don't know if it was a guy, the person who wrote True Grit was from here, maybe? From Russellville? It would kind of make sense in a way, because True Grit was set in Arkansas and the Indian Territory, in Fort Smith, Arkansas, and in Oklahoma before it was Oklahoma. It was the Indian Territory. So I'm seriously going to have to Google that, I guess. That's got me wondering. The original movie True Grit, we actually saw that being filmed. We went up to Ridgeway. Mom took us up there. And I was, I don't know, 10 or 11 years old. We met John Carradine. He was in his Undertaker outfit. In the false front buildings there. That was kind of neat. He was pretty friendly. He talked to us. And Mama met John Wayne. I don't know where I was. I was probably over looking at the horses or something, but Mom met John Wayne. And I think somebody's actually got a picture of them standing together talking. But it was kind of funny when the movie came out, because I was a Colorado kid, but I was also an Oklahoma kid. My parents, well, they both had a history in Oklahoma, both of my parents. And so we went to Oklahoma a lot when I was a kid, and then eventually we moved there. It was after True Grit came out, though, that we moved there. But I knew enough about Oklahoma to know that the movie True Grit was a little weird when I saw it. I didn't really think about it when they were making it, because I didn't know the story. But when we actually saw the movie, you know, the original version with John Wayne and Glenn Campbell, it was really kind of funny in a way, because it was supposed to be taking place in Arkansas and the Indian Territory, but they had filmed it in Ridgeway, Colorado, way up in the high Rockies, and it was totally obvious that this was not Oklahoma or Arkansas, and that it was Colorado. I mean, that was really obvious, especially to kids that lived in Colorado and were familiar with Oklahoma. So we thought that was kind of strange. We thought it was kind of funny. But it also kind of taught me the lesson that everything you see in Hollywood is not accurate, and probably most of it is not. So that wasn't the only show that we saw being filmed there, because for some reason at that time, southwestern Colorado, which is where we lived at the time, was a popular spot for them to come and film movies and television shows. So they filmed True Grit there. We went up and saw how they did that. And then I think it was after that, the series Then Came Bronson was being filmed in Olathe, Colorado, which is a little bitty town. I mean, you throw a rock clear across the town, pretty much. It's a very tiny place. But all these California Hollywood people descended on this little bitty town that we lived in, and started filming a TV show. And to entertain themselves, I guess, one day they got a train conductor to run over pennies on the railroad track for them. So they would lay down coins. Well, I don't know if it was all pennies, but they would lay down coins on the railroad track, and the conductor would run the train over them and squish them, so that these people could have some souvenirs, I guess. It's really kind of funny, you know. And of course, they had hired extras for some of the episodes. There was one episode that my mom and my sister were actually in as part of the audience at a demolition derby that was part of the storyline. So they went and participated in that. And of course, the rest of us were kind of aggravated we didn't get to go, but I think they got paid $10 to sit there and, you know, be in the audience. I don't remember all the details of it, but I remember being mad that I didn't get to go. But I didn't, so. But I understood because of the way they did things, because of the stuff with True Grit that was totally wrong. I mean, it wasn't just kind of inaccurate, it was totally wrong. You know, trying to pass off Ridgway, Colorado as Fort Smith, Arkansas, and the Colorado Rockies, the high alpine Rockies, as Indian Territory, Oklahoma. I mean, I knew that was all bull. And then what they did to our little town when they came in to film that TV show, Then Came Bronson, is they changed the name of the town on the signs in the shops downtown. We didn't have a very big downtown. It was like about a block long. But they went in and they put fake signs up and called it whatever the name of the town was that they called it. I don't even remember what it was. So they just made it look like someplace else. But I knew that was bullshit too, because it was still Olathe, Colorado. And, you know, a lot of us knew it. So it kind of taught me to be really skeptical about anything coming out of Hollywood and not to believe what I saw, you know, on TV, that it's mostly fake. And so I've always kind of had that attitude ever since then. Up until then, it was a mystery to me. You know, I was a kid. It's like, oh, this is on TV. It must be real. Well, you know, that kind of dispelled that theory for me, and, you know, made me a little bit smarter, a little more savvy, I think, about the world and how it works. So that's probably a good thing. I mean, there's some point when you're a kid that kind of thing happens, and you start to realize that, you know, there's more to this than what you perceive. And a lot of it's fake, a lot of it's phony. So you have to learn to be able to spot the phony, you know, spot the phony shit and just kind of write it off, you know, like discount it. Like, okay, that's fake, I'm not going to pay attention to that. That's kind of an essential thing for kids to learn, you know, as you're growing up, and because at some point you're going to have to make your own way in the world, and it's good to be able to discern between real and phony shit. So, you know, it's to your benefit to be able to tell the difference. Of course, these days they want you to believe everything that's phony and play along with them and pretend like you believe it, you know. So I think that's kind of bizarre. It's strange that that's where we've come to in this world. It's a strange place to be, where the lie is passed off as the truth, and the truth is ignored and shunned. It's just a little weird. But I don't know. I hope this is just kind of one of those phases we're going through, and that this too shall pass. I hope. I don't know how else we're going to get beyond it if it doesn't. So it's pretty weird. It's pretty strange. You know, I think part of the reason that the world is the way it is right now is because we've got at least one full generation of kids who have been taught that their emotions and their perceptions are everything, and that they take precedence over everything else, including reality, which is a pretty piss poor way to, it's a pretty piss poor thing to do to kids, impressionable children. Okay, I've got antsy people back here behind me. I've only got 6 more miles to go. But I don't want to do it driving 50 miles an hour behind these trucks. I don't know why all of a sudden we got a big cluster of trucks. They're all clobbed up here together. And we got a cluster of cars trying to go around them that evidently somebody up there can't figure out how to go around them. I don't know what the deal is. What's the hold up, guys? Come on. Well, I got 5 miles to get back over in the other lane, so I'll just ride it out over here, I guess. That damn camera. I've got a camera on here, a security camera. For some reason it keeps coming off the windshield. It doesn't want to stay up here. We have to address that at some point. At this point, it's just a decoy. It doesn't really work. It worked for a couple of weeks, I think, and then it quit working altogether. But it's up in the windshield, and when I'm at a motel or whatever, I'm sure that people are looking for that, and they tend to leave this truck alone, and maybe that's why. It may be that that's enough to make them a little cautious about it, you know, not wanting to get caught breaking into it or whatever. So I leave it in here, even though it's kind of a pain. When it starts falling down like that, it'll do that 5, 6, 7 times, and finally I'll get it stuck back up there where it'll stay for a month or two, till the next time it decides it wants to start falling down. Oh, it just fell down again. Okay. I'm over it. I'm totally friggin' over it. I'm just gonna take it down. There we go. These people in their little teardrop trailers, I don't understand the point of that even. I mean, you might as well be sleeping in the back seat of your car. Really. Because that's all it is a bed. I mean, there's nothing else to it. Some of them have a little kitchen on the outside, I guess, but it's not in there where you can use it in the rain or whatever. I mean, to me, if I'm going to pull a travel trailer, I want one at least big enough for me to get in and get out of the rain and cook supper in. You know what I mean? To have that option to have a place to get out of the rain and still be able to eat a meal. You know, sleep in a dry bed in some relative comfort. I got 2 more miles to go here. These trucks are so jammed up, I'm just going to sit back here and ride behind them because, I don't know, it's just a cluster up there. The traffic is doing weird stuff. I'm not sure what's going on. Except that it's trucks, you know, and it's the interstate. And I really don't want to deal with it. Another 1.5 miles and I'll get rid of this thing. Well, I'll get off the interstate. 2.5 miles, I'll get it delivered. So you'll be able to see the place I'm delivering it to. It's coming up here on the left pretty shortly. Oh, these guys are going slow. Relatively speaking, I mean 65 is not that slow, but 65 is slow in a 75 mile an hour speed zone. So yeah, that way they're going pretty damn slow. But the trailer store is over here on the left side, over off the service road over there. So I have to go off here. They have weird exits here. They're gigantic exits. So we'll make a big loop around and then end up over there. It's about 1.25 miles to get back over to that. Yeah, that's how big this loop is. It's about 1 mile. Kind of crazy. It's not like just a regular exit where you just get off and then you run into a road. Oh no. Couldn't be that simple. We gotta go way in the hell up here. I hope this lady's nice to me today. Or better yet, maybe she won't be there and so I won't aggravate her. Something about me aggravates her, evidently. Because she's been testy with me in the past, let's just say. So I pick up the knife level. I use my mom's recipe on her, which is kill her with kindness. Be so nice. Be so nice to her, it makes her sick. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to be so nice to her, it'll make her sick. I don't know, she's just kind of cranky. She might have good reason to be cranky. Maybe she has to deal with idiots all day long. It wears on her. It could be. I haven't delivered here in a long time. Like since last fall, I think. Okay. Here it is. Okay, so I'm just going to do a recap of the day. I did not film all day because there wasn't that much going on, and I've been kind of tired. Just hadn't felt like talking all that much. But now that I'm done, I feel like, now I can actually concentrate on what I want to say and give you a good recap. So this morning, I left the house I was about 4:15, I think. Somewhere in that vicinity, 4:15 or 3:50. I left the house with the trailer, headed straight on over to Shawnee where I fueled up, and then I went from Shawnee straight on over to the delivery spot in Arkansas. So I got there like 9 o'clock. I made really good time. I was just pleased as punch that it didn't take me any longer than that to get over there. And when I got there, they were looking over the trailer and they opened it up and they said, "Oh, we got a problem in the interior." And the guy looks at me and says, "No, it's nothing you did. It's not your deal." I'm like, "Okay, cool." He said, "Just hang around though, because we're going to try and do something with this." I'm like, "Okay." So what they ended up doing is they ended up having me bring the same trailer back. I never even unhitched it from the truck. So I brought the same trailer back to Chickasha to have a repair made on something inside the interior of the trailer. I don't even look at the interiors anymore. I don't know. But something in the headliner or something they didn't like. But they're going to get it fixed next week, I guess. According to the guy at Chickasha, they'll have somebody up here next week who's going to take care of it, which is good. So maybe I'll get the job hauling it back over there next week. We'll see. But the comment was made while I was there, if it was going back to Chickasha, I could have the job. But if it was going back to Kansas, they could cut me loose and somebody else would come pick it up. So I was thinking, that's kind of interesting. So I sat and I waited. I waited a long time. It was, 45 minutes an hour. I sat and waited for them to make all these decisions, So I did stuff like washed my windshield and filled up my fluid and sat around eating bonbons with my feet up in the truck with the air conditioner running, things like that. So they finally decided it was going back to Chickasha. So they were like, "Okay, well, we'll see ya." I'm like, "Okay, I'll take it back. I'll get her done." So I went around the back of their building and I noticed there was a brand new set of tie-togethers sitting out back. So that made me think that's why they said if it was going to Manhattan, just cut me loose, because they probably have somebody else coming in there today with another set of tie-togethers who would like to have that long-haul job going up to Kansas, because I got the last long-haul job going to Kansas, and so it would be fair for the next person on the rotation to get that long-haul job. And they gave me this job to Chickasha because I only live a half an hour from Chickasha. So it was on my way home anyway. Not that that made any difference for pay. I got full pay on it. But because I live here, I could go drop it off and have the hours, to legally get home. The other guys, most of them live, 2.5 hours away from Chickasha or more, 2.5 or 3 or more. So this worked out really well for me today. Now, another day it might have worked out the other way, where I just was out of luck for a load and I would just come back empty. That wouldn't have broken my heart either, because I was planning to kind of cut across country if that was the case. But I'm happier getting paid, actually, to drive out and back. It's a pretty rare thing when I get paid both ways. And even though it was kind of a fluke incident, I'm thankful for it, because it took me from having a $1,200 gross week so far to having an $1,800 gross week. So big difference, big difference. So I'm really happy about that. And I'm just pleased as punch because it's all done. And I've got about half an hour left on my driving clock, so I got plenty of time to get home. I'm like 10 minutes from the house right here. So I've got plenty of time to get home, so I don't have any worries with my logbook. Everything just worked out nice and just calm and no drama. It was nice. It was a good day. So anyway, that's my update on the kind of day that I had. So I apologize for not doing a lot more filming, but I needed to keep my head in the game today because I didn't sleep a lot last night, even though I had my, I think I was actually off the clock for 11 hours, not just 10, 11, but I had a lot on my mind. So that was another thing about this that worked out really great. I had woke up last night about 3 in the morning, and I went to bed early, so this wasn't like a big deal. But I woke up at 3 o'clock, and I'm laying there thinking about which way do I want to go to get to Shawnee, because I knew I wanted to fuel up in Shawnee. So I'm laying there thinking about that, and I got to thinking, why am I laying here thinking about this when I could just get up and go do it? And instead of just laying here till 5 o'clock or whatever thinking about it, I'd just get a jump on it and go. So I was legal to go. So I was like, okay, I'm just going to go. So I got up, got ready, and made my coffee and loaded my stuff in the truck. So if I hadn't done that, it would have been too late in the day coming back for me to deliver that trailer at Chickasha this afternoon, and I would have had to have sat on it, under it actually, all night again tonight, and then delivered it back up here in the morning. So I would have had to have driven an extra, 60 miles round trip just to get it delivered and get back home tomorrow. So everything worked out great today. The fact that I got up early and started moving when I normally wouldn't, just everything just fell into place. So, some days are like that. Some days just work out really good, and other days everything goes wrong, or what we perceive as wrong anyway. This is one of those days when everything went, I perceived it as everything going right. So yeah, good day. Good day. And now it's 3:40 and I'm just about home, and I'm going to be glad to get there. In fact, it's early enough I might run over and do a little metal detecting in town tonight. I need to get out and walk around and move around some instead of just sitting down and watching metal detecting videos on YouTube. As cool as it is watching the Scottish detectorist's videos, I love watching his videos because he goes into depth about each coin, which king or which queen it was attached to, when they were there, blah, blah, blah. He goes into extreme detail on it. But as fun as that is, it's a lot more fun for me to get out and go find some silver, which I did twice last week. I found a silver ring and a silver Roosevelt dime. So there's still silver to be had in the ground around here, and I'm going to go out and keep looking for it when I'm not in here driving. So, and if I ever figure out how to do it, maybe I'll do my own metal detecting channel too. I don't know. There are so many metal detecting channels. I don't know if anybody'd even care, to be honest. But maybe, I don't know, maybe some people are fixated on Oklahoma the way I'm fixated on Scotland. Probably not, but you never know. And the reason I'm kind of fixated on Scotland is because I'm primarily Scottish, so there's actually a reason for it. A big chunk Scottish, some English, some Irish, some Scandinavian, some Western European, and just a little bit of Senegalese. So go figure, what a combination, huh? But yeah, so I may just go do that. I think we can go home and eat something first, though. That sounds like a good plan. So on that note, thanks for riding along. I'll try and get all this processed and out in the next couple of days. If I don't get called back out on the road, I will get it posted up. If I get called back out, it might be this weekend before I get this up. So anyway, thanks for riding along, and I will see you in the next segment, whenever that is. Could be tomorrow, could be next week. We'll just have to wait and see. So y'all have a good one. Take care.